The cool narrative of Indian startup economy, there is a metric that founders whisper about in private, but completely erase from their presentation. Right now, a delivery executive is knocking on a door in Patna, Alwar or Guntur. The customer looks at the package, decides they no longer want it, or claim they never really ordered this, and closes the door. To the consumer, this is a harmless, zero cost choice. To the mainstream tech journalist, it is a minor operational friction. But to anyone who understands the plumbing of banking and logistics, this is a structural nightmare. It's called RTO, return to the origin. Every single day, up to 35% of all the cash on delivery orders in India turn into ghost orders. They travel across the state, get rejected at the doorstep, and travel all the way back. This sale is dead. Here is the catch. The logistic companies and the payment gateways have already taken their cut. This is the e-commerce story that your favorite Instagram brands cannot afford to tell you. By 2026, building a D2C brand in India has been completely commoditized. You can source cosmetics from a contract manufacturer in some industrial area, set up a Shopify store in the afternoon, run a targeted video ads across the social media. The narrative tells us that anyone with a unique product can bypass the traditional distributors and sell directly to 1.4 billion people. Venture capital chase this dream, funding thousands of brands to milestone valuations based entirely on their GMV, gross merchandise value. But GMV is a dangerous lie. It counts the value of every item that leaves the warehouse, completely ignoring whether a single rupee even returns to the company bank account. To understand why the profitable looking startups are quietly bleeding to death, we have to look at the intersection of Indian consumer psychology and corporate cash flow. Let's look at the official story. In a perfect world, a brand manufactures a product for 200 and sells it online for 1000 rupees. They spend 300 on digital ads to acquire you as a consumer. They allocate 100 for shipping and 50 for the platform. They're left with healthy 35% net profit margin. On paper, the sale looks unstoppable. Because if you increase ad spend, you increase orders and you increase profits. It's a linear math problem. But this formula assumes that a transaction happens in mature digital economy where consumers pay upfront, and India is not that economy. The moment a brand tries to scale past the elite English speaking top 10% of consumers, they hit a wall. To win consumers in Tier 2, Tier 3 and rural areas, they must offer cash on delivery. And the moment you introduce COD, your linear math problem encounters a psychological variable. Impulse ordering without financial consent. When a consumer do not swipe their card upfront, they have zero skin in the game. If the delivery takes 4 days, they might buy a cheaper alternative from local store in the meantime. If they board at midnight, they might place an order just for the dopamine hit and regret it by the morning. The industry average for RTO on cash orders hovers between 30 and 40%. That means out of every 100 packages sent out, nearly 40 are rejected. Now let's look at the plumbing. What happens to the money when the package is rejected? This is where the true cash conversion cycle of an e-commerce company completely collapses. Let's break down how this equation functions in reality. When the package is shipped, the brand pays third-party logistics provider a forward freight fee, let's say 60 rupees. If the customer accepts it, the logistics provider collects the cash, hold it in their system for 7 to 10 days to process the banking settlement, and then clears it to the brand. But if the customer rejects the package, The brand doesn't just lose the sale. The forward freight of 60 rupees is completely gone. The logistics provider charges a reverse freight of, let's say, another 50 rupees to bring the dead inventory back to the warehouse. The inventory sits in the transit for an average of 14 to 21 days, completely locked up and unsellable. Think about what that means. The logistics aggregator makes money when the package goes forward and makes money when the package comes backward. They take absolutely zero risk on whether the consumer actually buys the product. The payment gateway charge verification or processing fee on the attempt. The ecosystem players are running guaranteed toll booth. The brand is taking 100% speculative gamble on every single doorstep interaction. If a brand has 35% RTO rate, the cost of the failed deliveries completely cannibalize the profits of successful delivery. To the public, the company is screaming, we hit a 100 crore run rate. To the banker holding their lines of credit, they are surviving entirely on the venture capital tranches or vendor credit expansion. They are structurally insolvent without continuous external cash injections. So how does this invisible crisis affect you, the consumer? It triggers a structural tax on honesty, because these brands cannot stop the ghost orders entirely. They have to survive the margin compression. They only have two levers to pull. First, they artificially inflate the base price of the product. A face serum that should cost 600 will suddenly cost 1100. Why? To ensure that upfront premium paid by honest prepaid consumer in Delhi or Bangalore covers the double freight loss of 3 ghost orders in the rest of the country. Second, they engage in product degradation. To protect their margins from logistics leak, they cut the quality of packaging, substitute premium ingredients with cheap industrial fillers, and slash customer service budget. You think you are paying for premium innovation. In reality, you are paying cross-subsidization tax to fund the transit float of millions of non-committal shoppers. The Indian e-commerce landscape is undergoing a silent correction because of this math. As an informed consumer, here is how you spot the shifts and adjust your behavior. First, notice the incentive structure. When a website offers you an immediate 10% or 15% discount exclusively for paying UPI or credit card upfront, they are not being generous. They are desperate. They are mathematically calculating that giving you 150 rupees discount today is significantly cheaper than risking 110 two-way freight bill on cash on delivery order tomorrow. Take the prepaid discount. It's the only time math tilted in your favor. Second, audit the shipping timeline. If a brand takes more than 5 days to deliver an item to a major town, it often signals that they're batching shipments to cut the forward cost because their cash is trapped in the RTO transit cycle. Slow delivery is frequently leading indicator of working capital distress. Third, look for non-return policy. On fast-growing independent sites, this is not a bad customer service. It is a survival response. The moment a brand cuts off returns entirely, they are acknowledging that their unit economics cannot survive contact with the Indian logistics loop. So we look at our phones, scroll through beautifully curated ads, and marvel at how easy it is to bring the world to our doorstep without a single tap. But when you look beneath the interface at the raw balance sheet, the illusion drops away. Many of the scaling brands are not disruptive retail joints. They are hyper-accelerated customer acquisition funnels that double as funding mechanism for logistics net. The next time you see a direct-to-consumer brand boasting about their exclusive growth, don't ask how many orders they shipped. Ask how many doors were closed in their face. I'll see you in the next video.